So we've flown Dawn to Louisiana to meet 43-stone Christina to emphasise what could happen if she returns to her binge eating.
Hello. Hi, welcome to America.
Thank you.
My gosh. Well, come in and just sit down and let's have us a talk. I wanted to share with you a lot of my life. By experiencing it today, you'll say, oh no, I do not want to go there.
So have you always been big?
I've always been on the big side.
Yeah.
I was able to run, but now if fire started, I'm going to be a roasted pig on a stick because I can't run.
Christina takes over 40 pills a day to control the diabetes, high blood pressure, asthma and depression that have resulted from her morbid obesity.
Asthma is not caused by being fat. Just to be clear, like there is actually no real link between being fat and having asthma. You're as likely to have asthma if you're thin. Most of the people I know who have asthma are thin. It's really absurd that they're just blaming all of her health problems on her fatness when like some of this stuff is not at all related to fatness. Like, okay.
I wake up in the morning hurting, so then I have to take pain medicine. 4 different kind of pain medications.
Whoa. So is it your joints aching?
Oh, I would say slightly. They feel like a semi-truck is sitting on top of them.
And Christina's excessive weight has meant that she's also developed severe sleep apnea, a condition which means that she stops breathing up to 400 times a night and has to wear an oxygen mask to keep her alive.
Only 400 times a night? If you don't understand why I said that, you should check out the video that I already made about when I was diagnosed. And I think a different, like I'll crunch some numbers because I got to figure out, hang on, what'd she say? 45 stone. Yeah, so this lady is quite a lot, like by her appearance, I thought that she was quite a bit larger than me. If the apnea is caused by being fat, why is it that the fatter girl has a lower number? Just saying. There's sleep apnea runs in my family. My mother has it and she is rail thin. My mother is like, it worries me how thin she is. Not just because she's thin, but because I have other information obviously that I'm not sharing. I think that the idea that fat people have sleep apnea and thin people don't is absurd because like I know that my mother has it, and she's very thin. I have it. I probably got it from her. I'm fat. And then this lady is much fatter than me and she has less severe sleep apnea than I do. So like it doesn't have that kind of one-to-one correlation that they're trying to make it out to be. It's really bizarre that that they're just kind of going all in on like, yeah, everything wrong with this woman is because she's fat. It's bizarre to me.
We're going to slip this on. It gets a little tight. And it has to be tight because you have to have this air in there. When this is blowing into you and trying to keep you alive, there's sometimes that this will escape. You feel that? It's almost as if you get into a wind tunnel.
It's not pleasant. It's quite claustrophobic, in fact. And the mask is so tight, it's very uncomfortable.
This is what you get from all that great eating. You want a cheeseburger?
No, particularly, no.
Fries?
Suddenly my appetite's gone.
Whew, merci.
And when you're over a quarter of a ton, even leaving the house can be a struggle.
Today is sort of making me look at all the problems that Christina has. She's fat, but it doesn't just stop there. It's everything that I take for granted with my mobility.
Do not get this big.
Again, it's this like assumption that it's all choice. Everything that made Christina, I think is her name, the size that she is, was all Christina's choices. It had nothing to do with genetics, with the environment she lives in, with anything. It's all just eating. It's the things she puts in her mouth, right? Even if that were true, that when she became fat, that all of the things that went wrong, it was because she was fat. If she gets hit by a car, they're going to say it's because she was fat. It doesn't matter. Like, all of it is because she's fat. It's just like, there's so many logical leaps, right? And I'm not getting as heated today as I sometimes would get because, like, honestly, I'm tired of it. I'm exhausted. I'm just like, I feel like a broken record at this point.
And something as simple as a visit to the supermarket can be fraught with difficulty.
Welcome to my shopping world.
Christina can't walk more than a couple of paces, so an electric wheelchair is a must.
That one that's way up there at the top. That one? Nope, this one is over here.
This one.
But sitting down to shop makes getting your 5 a day quite a chore.
People just stop and gawk at you.
Yeah.
You know, they look at you like you're a freak from a circus.
Yeah.
That particular thing that she said, people stop and gawk at you, they look at you like you're a freak from the circus, that is a them problem. We need to talk about how treating other people badly is not the fault of the person being treated badly, right? Like, she's being mistreated by people for being fat. That's not a fat person's fault that people are treating them badly. It's not open season on bullying fat people just because we dare to exist, right? We need to take responsibility for our behavior, and it is not kind to be mean to fat people. Like, this is not rocket science. Just treat people with kindness. It's not Christina's fault that people are bullying her. It's the bully's fault. And I cannot emphasize that enough. The fact that she's talking about it here as though it is her fault, to me, just suggests that she has been completely inundated with the messaging that if she were just not fat, maybe people would treat her better. There's always going to be fat people. Treating them badly is not okay. It's not okay.
Back at home, the next part of Christina's daily routine is treating her diabetic sores, which her husband normally takes care of.
Gotta go a little further, a little deeper.
Yeah, let's see. Under there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I felt very sorry for Christina having to put that on her. And it's not a pleasant thing to do for somebody, let alone have somebody do for you.
Oh, goodness. Now, see, standing just that very short period of time,
Breathless.
I'm out of breath.
And this lack of mobility means that Christina has to rely heavily on her 13-year-old son, Brent.
It's kind of difficult, the everyday things that I have to do for her. I'll help her get dressed, and then we go out to the truck and help her get in the truck and everything.
How does it affect you at school?
I'll intentionally forget something at the house so I can call home and make sure she's all right. I'm not so much as worried she's going to continue to get big.
Yeah.
I'm worried that I'm not going to have her that long.
Dawn's visit is coming to an end, but have Christina's warnings sunk in?
Being here, I see how hard it is for you. And I can see the future if I don't behave myself and think before I eat.
And the future's not too far away.
Christina's future is looking bleak. Unless she loses weight, her life expectancy will be limited, and she will have to rely on her cocktail of drugs to keep her alive.
Where you're at, you're back here at this corner where I've already crossed it, and you're getting close, and I hope that you're where you can turn around. My existence is gone, and I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anyone.
Somebody can show you a message, but to actually see it firsthand has really made me think what it would be like to be in Christina's shoes. Anyone can be overweight, but there's a limit then that you get to where you just lose dignity, self-respect. Everything goes, and that is a scary place to be, and it's somewhere I am not going to be.
So when I started getting into progressive politics, I'm going to use sort of an analogy related to sexual assault. I just want to give people a heads up for that reason. Somebody had said to me, if you walk alone at night in a dark alley, someone might attack you and sexually assault you. If you don't walk alone at night in a dark alley, maybe someone won't attack you and sexually assault you. But that person who would have is still out there and will attack and assault somebody. When we talk about fatness, you know, Dawn is saying here, oh, I don't want to become like that. It's terrible. What we have to realize is that even if we're like, you know what, I'm not going to turn out that way. I'm not going to be in that dark alley. There's someone out there who is going to be in that position, and we need to do what we can to make the world a better place for that person. So when Dawn says, I don't want to become like that, that's fine. But we also need to work to make sure that people who do end up in Christina's position can live a decent life. We do need to make sure that she's getting adequate medical care. We do need to make sure that if she needs assistance with things like bathing, dressing, etc., that there is access to that there is some kind of service where someone can help her with that. We do need to make sure that the people in her life, like her son, her husband, etc., if they need support, that they are also getting support. These types of "this is awful, I don't want to experience it" narratives, what they do is they put the blame squarely on that person who was in the alley. But the reality is, there's going to be someone out there who has to walk in that alley. That's the only way for them to get home. There's always going to be a person who is disabled like Christina. How do we make the world not terrible for someone like Christina is part of the, like, at the heart of where we need to focus our efforts, our advocacy around access to a decent life. How do we make sure that she can get the medical care she needs? How do we make sure that what happened to her with all of these different conditions wasn't exacerbated by poor medical care? I'll refer you again. I made a video recording what happened with me and how I ended up, I'm now disabled. I have like weird mobility stuff where like, my leg just goes limp sometimes. And if I didn't have, I use like a rollator when I go out. I don't so much around the house because it's pretty squishy. Like my house isn't I'm not going to hurt myself too bad if I fall, I don't think. But if I'm out and my leg just goes limp because I have neurological stuff from the seizures that my doctor ignored for like 2 years. And so my leg will just go limp. And if I'm out and I don't have the handles of my rollator to hold on to, I could just fall down and hurt myself quite badly. It passes quickly, but this is a thing that has not gone away. All my like cognitive stuff, I was having like some cognitive stuff from the neurological issues, that has basically repaired itself. You know, when I was sick, all the sort of physical repercussions have not gone away so easily. And so I do still have the bum leg that will just go out on me randomly. It's not a matter of weakness. It's not a matter of exhaustion, anything like that. It's just that it goes limp. My brain misfires and my leg goes limp, and I will just like fall down if I don't have something to hold on to. And this is something that happened as a result of having seizures after there were lots of warning signs, after we pushed for literal years to be tested for various things that could be explaining it. And my doctor finally did it 2 years later, and we found out that it was preventable that whole time. These types of stories, how do we advocate for making them incredibly rare? Because the sad truth is that they're incredibly common. And so I want Christina, who is larger than I am, and I may never be the size that Christina is, but I want her to be able to live in a world where she can access medical care, where what happened to me is not what's happening to her, where things that can be treated are treated, where they're not being left until they're untreatable. We need to advocate for healthcare for people where stuff like this doesn't happen. I'm not a mind reader. I don't know what Christina's story is, but statistically, based on the stories I've heard from other fat people, it would not surprise me in the least if at least one of her conditions was caused by negligence. That they said, no, that thing that you're describing, even though for a thin person it would be a sign of X condition, I'm just going to assume it's because you're fat and I'm going to tell you to lose weight. That is the normal experience for fat people at the doctor. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really want to encourage everyone to think about advocating for a world where this stuff doesn't happen. Because if it's not me and it's not you, it's going to be somebody who's got to live in this world. And we should be looking out for each other. That is the right thing to do.
But has Dawn stuck to her word? A few months ago, Dawn and Charlene left the feeding clinic with their individual healthy eating plans. Now they're back to see if they've turned their disastrous diets around.
Dawn, welcome back. You look amazingly well.
Thank
you. Feel good?
Yes, really good.
And have you managed to stick to the diet then?
Yes, I have. I have not touched bacon. I haven't even had pork chops. And I think before I put it in my mouth now. I am rather anxious about finding out how much weight I've lost, because I feel like I've lost weight, but the scales will tell.
I think I've probably put on a little bit of weight, but I don't think I've put on like a huge, like dramatic amount of weight.
So what sort of foods are you eating now that are different to before?
I'd say more like protein and more meat, whereas before I wouldn't really eat that much.
Do you feel any different for it?
I'm not sleeping during the day. as I used to before.
Physically, you just feel better. You feel a bit more energetic.
I feel a lot more energetic, yeah.
Before Dr. Christian reveals their results, it's time for the girls to meet again.
Hello, look at you. You're fantastic.
It's nice to see each other.
Yes.
Dramatic changes.
The figure's changed a huge amount.
And Charlene's looking so well.
Well, look, I can tell you, it's not great on the weight front, all right? You've put on a pound. But what I can tell you with the super skinnies is actually the weight gain tends to come a bit further down the line. As long as you feel better, then I'm happy, all right? Okay. So, Dawn, what about you?
Well, I'm hoping I've lost a bit of weight. Over half a stone would be good.
Well, I can tell you, you've lost 24 pounds. That's
Fantastic.
nearly 2 stone.
Whoa.
Half a stone, eat your heart
Yes. Fantastic.
I think it's exciting to think that there's a lot more positive to come. I can already see the changes. It doesn't just stop here, it's just the start.
It's given me the incentive, realising that, you know, I've lost a lot of weight and I can continue to do that. This is it now. This is me going forward. There's no way I am going back to my old ways.
The fact that there's so much focus on the weight side is disappointing. I think everyone expected me to say that. But what I will say is that Charlene looks less sick, if that makes sense. Like, she looks like she's doing much better. And I don't care if she's thinner or fatter. Like, that, to me, that doesn't matter. What matters is that she's feeling well. Hopefully her test results are better, because she had been really iron deficient. She had had really high cholesterol. She was having a lot of problems with, like, just sort of basic metrics inside the body of, like, what are our levels of things that keep us functioning well. So I hope for her that is also better, because she does look better. She looks less sick. Importantly, the only important thing really is that she seems to feel less sick. She has more energy, she says, and she's nourishing herself in a way that she didn't seem to be before. With Dawn, she didn't really have a lot of complaints in terms of how she felt before. So if I'm a person, which I am, who is less concerned about the weight situation, to me, nothing has changed for Dawn, because she's not really talking about feeling better or feeling worse, like her medical condition going away or whatever. That's not really the discussion there. It's all about the size of her body. And to me, that's not the important part. It's how she's feeling. I hope that she's feeling good. I hope that, you know, she hasn't swung the other way where she's really restricting in a way that could be really damaging. But yeah, like, as long as she's happy and feeling good, like, it's nobody's business, right? Like, I find this show just really counterintuitive in many ways, because here we have people who are going on television to talk about a thing that is nobody's business, right? It's just really bizarre to me. Probably the most important takeaway is really just, like, that they're feeling good. You know, that they're getting, hopefully Charlene's getting treatment to supplement her, like, her changes in her eating habits, like, to deal with sort of like the mental stuff, because, like, some of it is probably sort of the anxieties that were impressed on her as a small child coming out as an adult, right? And she's having that same kind of control instinct that Dawn was having, but in the other direction of, like, I'm going to restrict instead of really, like, controlling by, like, soothing with food, right? This one was pretty bananas, because we have on the one side really, I think, valuable stuff around eating disorder treatment, showing sort of how people think about themselves and how we might go about treating that, and, like, treating it as a very serious condition, which it is. And then we have this other side of the show that really trivializes it and really, like, sensationalizes it, and I have trouble reconciling those two. I couldn't tell you why they made that decision, honestly. I think mostly I'm just happy that the women that are in the show seem to be doing fine. And that's my reaction to the meat addict Supersize versus Superskinny from apparently season 4 of this show that probably aired in the 2000s. I don't know. It gives me that impression, like the music and the way they shoot it and stuff. It seems like it's from that period. But anyway, thank you for joining me for this reaction. I'm really glad that somebody suggested this, because it was definitely, there was a lot to talk about. I appreciate sort of the suggesting content that you think would be helpful or useful or interesting. Please continue to do so. I'm happy to take on these types of reactions, because it's really, it's nice to get kind of the fresh reaction. I can't really find my own stuff to react to without having first impressions before I do the react. So it's helpful. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much for joining me today. I really, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please give this video a like. If you are finding value in the stuff on my channel, then please do subscribe. We are still trying to get me up to 100 subscribers. And based on the poll, it seems like what we're going to be doing is a special Q&A, Ask Me Anything kind of episode as the bonus when I get there, which I hope will be soon. It seems like it's going to be soon. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that for you guys because it's been, it's been a really fun journey with you all. And I want to do something nice for, everyone who's been supportive of the channel. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.